Hi, and welcome to drawingandpaintingforeveryone.com. This tutorial corresponds to the assignments in my Portraits from Photography book. In here, I discuss several concepts. I talk about grids, drawing, I even have you apply a wash. The goal is to establish a beginning for each of the studies in my book. Rather than have you watch me build a grid each time and do a drawing each time, I'll just refer back to this tutorial. So anyway, let's get started. Okay, to begin with, I'm working on a Frederick's canvas sheet from 9x12 canvas pad. There are several companies that produce these canvas pads and anyone will work, but look for a brand that uses real canvas, not paper. To create this grid, I'm using the guide from my book and a watercolor pencil. I'll explain why the watercolor pencil in a moment. The marks on the guide next to these small triangles represent where the lines are to be drawn. With the lines drawn, I'll mark the subdivisions. First, I'll mark the subdivisions around the perimeter. From here, I'll realign the guide and locate each center. The goal is to have 9 rectangles with centers marked, including the centers for each line. Okay, about the watercolor pencil. When I complete my drawing, I'm going to want to get rid of this grid. By drawing it with a watercolor pencil, I can wash the grid away with a little water. A note of caution here. Only use the watercolor pencil to draw the grid. I've had students finish their grid and keep drawing with their watercolor pencil. When they wash away the grid, they wash away their drawing as well. You want to use your regular 2H pencil to do your drawing. I want to keep this perimeter, so I'll draw over my watercolor line with this 2H pencil. You can always put your grid on with a regular 2H pencil, but you'll have to erase it, or I prefer to erase it before I start painting. Another note about the watercolor pencil, avoid real dark colors like dark blue or bright red or even bright yellow. They don't seem to wash off well. I prefer browns and tans. This is the first study for my portrait book. It's the photograph of an eye, or the plaster cast of an eye. I'm using the grid to guide my drawing. I'm deciding here to locate the vertical line of the cast shadow. It appears to go vertically through this region right here. You may have noticed that I've been speeding up the video from time to time. By doing so, I'm going to hopefully keep the video within 9 or 10 minutes. Without it, it would easily be a half hour or so. Here again, I'm locating the edge of this cast shadow. I often subdivide these small quadrants into yet another division by putting a dot or imagining a dot right in the middle of this area. Now that the drawing is finished, I'll wash away the grid. This is a small painting, so I'll just use a paper towel. On a large painting, I often use a sponge. Oh, I forgot to mention, I'm only using water on this paper towel. The watercolor pencil will be removed easily with just water. Okay, the drawing is done and the grid is gone. I'm going to apply a wash from here. A wash is simply a small amount of pigment mixed with a lot of solvent. I'm painting with oil colors, so my solvent is Gamsol. I created a black with burnt sienna and ultramarine blue. I have a tutorial called Creating a Palette of Grays that explains building this black. It's helpful to have a wide, soft brush to apply this wash. You want to avoid any white in this wash. If you do get a little white in here, your wash will become opaque and begin to hide your drawing. We've covered a lot of information in this tutorial. We've covered grids, drawing, we've applied a wash. Anyway, I'll complete this painting in the next tutorial. Portrait, Assignment 1, Part 2. I hope this has been helpful. Thanks.